Drag is just me being a clown. It's me going out and making people laugh and having a lot of fun. And a lot of people out there think that like drag queens are grooming children to become drag queens, but honestly, like that has nothing to do with any of it. My son has never once asked to put a wig on or asked to be a drag queen. But when my son sees me leave the house in drag, he always tells me I look beautiful, which is so cute. Like that means so much to me. And it's just so sad that there's such an attack on drag right now. And people saying that drag queens and children don't mesh well together because they absolutely do. But the context is different when you're doing drag with a child versus doing drag with an adult crowd. And I don't think that people know that that line is there. Or they do know and they just don't give a shit. And it sucks to me because I have this child who is so beautiful and wonderful. And he's so in love with, everything and everyone. And leaving the house in drag and being told, or Papa, you look handsome, or Papa, you look beautiful. Like, hearing that is the best thing before you leave a house to go do a show. And I feel like I don't get that kind of love from people, like normal adult people. And he inspires me to do drag. We watch Drag Race together and he's always like, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that, Papa? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to compete. Like, I'm not a dancer. I'm a comedian. I do fun stuff. And Drag Race just doesn't always work out for those types of people. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm working on my own thing, dude, and you'll see me someday on TV, but it's just not going to be in this show that we watch together. And it makes me so sad to know that in the world right now that drag is under such scrutiny and people are trying to take this beautiful art form and turn it into a thing of hate. And there's nothing hateful about drag. Drag is about beauty. Drag is about entertaining. Drag is about laughter. Drag is about love.
Welcome to Splintered Spirits. I'm your host, Gary, along with my nephew, John Santa from Santa Paranormal. Today's guest is a New Hampshire native who lives the state motto, live free or die to the fullest, and does not compromise on who she is. Monique Toosoon is the ghostess with the mostest and the self-crowned world's most unique trigger object. As a drag queen paranormal investigator with over 20 years in entertainment, Monique is redefining this predominantly rigid black tea wearing male field by fusing glamour and glitter into ghost hunting. But you're going to see what John and I see, and that Monique is not just going for shock value. Just because she wants to have fun in these haunted locations doesn't mean her investigative work is any less credible. Monique is to ghost hunting what Elle Woods in Legally Blonde is to the law. She's a badass. And here to discuss her work investigating iconic locations like the Conjuring House in Wilson Castle, her books, and how her high-energy drag persona acts as a beacon for spiritual activity. Let's dive into the conversation. All right. Monique, welcome to Splintered Spirits.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Oh my God, this is so fun. I have to tell you, I love when Heidi Kemper was another guest of ours, told us about it. And when I looked it up, I was like, okay, this is a person who is disrupting the norm. And that's what I think. John, I think you agree with me.
I agree 100%. And I love it.
I love this anti-status quo of what is perceived to be a ghost hunter and what that all means and how that all set out to go, to go about it. So I want, just to get into it. So you call yourself the ghostess with the mostest, right? But, take us back a little bit, Monique, to the beginning of how this started for you. I mean, did you grow up in a spooky household? Did you grow up in New Hampshire or did paranormal find you later?
Yeah, I grew up in New Hampshire and my parents' house was pretty haunted that I grew up in. I was sensitive to spirit back then, and I don't think I realized what I was sensitive to back then. When you're a kid, you get freaked out by everything, so you don't really focus in and learn how to use that until you're older. But when I was a kid, I experienced stuff at my mom's house, and I started doing paranormal stuff when I was in my 20s more, not so much. I'm 42 now, so I've been doing paranormal for about 20 years. And I didn't start ghost hunting and drag until COVID. And I've been doing drag for 20 years and paranormal for 20 years, but I never had this aha moment of do them together, see what happens. And then COVID, I couldn't go to a bar anymore and drag because, I'm not putting a mask over a freshly beautiful face and walking around covered. So I ended up going ghost hunting in drag during COVID at a place local here in Massachusetts called the SK Pierce Mansion. And I ended up getting an EVP that night and it said, he's a lady. And I was like,
Oh,
immediately the ghosts are like making fun of me. They're sassing me. And I'm like, this changes everything. Because not only are the ghosts more interactive when I'm in drag, they say different things than they do when I'm at a location not in drag. So like I get wigs a lot, lashes, heels. They hit on me. They told me they wanted to have sex with me. That's on TikTok. There's a video of them like where I was like, I was in this place where there's like sailors everywhere and I could feel this energy. There's a lot of war artifacts. And I'm like, if you could do anything you wanted to do to me right now, what would you do? And sex, 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 sex comes right out of the radio. Clear as day. Everyone's screaming. One of the best things that ever happened. And, ghost hunting and drag, it's like, think of taking like the highest form of energy you can and then throwing it into a location that has never seen that high form of energy. And now it's like a whole new investigation that the spirits don't know what to do with me just as much as humans don't.
it's well. Look, you're leading into my next. I ask this to all our guests, but this is a perfect time to ask because you brought it up. What do you think the spirits? What do you think spirits are? What do you think they are? Because you're using energy a lot.
Yeah, I think spirits are energy that have moved on, and I believe that there's different kinds of spirits. I believe there are spirits that weren't human ever, and I believe that there are spirits that have moved on and just come and visit, and then we have ghosts that are kind of stuck here on this 3D planet we're on, and energy is different for everyone too. Every medium reads it differently. I get things differently than other mediums too. But I believe ghosts are just our remnants and our memories and our some of our energy that's kind of behind that we can communicate with. And
Do you
yeah,
have? Were you ghost hunting when you weren't in drag, and did you notice the significant difference?
yeah. So when I wasn't in drag, we always had great nights still, and we use a lot of tools. I'm an equipment nerd, so like I have got like 20K worth of ghost hunting equipment. And oh yeah, I'm a serious you if you come ghost hunting with me, I will pull out a whole table full of expensive stuff and
What's your go to?
oh man, I love tripwire, which is like ghost Christmas lights. I love anything that is bright and shiny and pretty that I can like make different than any other ghost hunter in this world. I'm gonna do. Like I have a robot that I use, like a MIP. Just so many cool radios that I use different forms of radios. I scry as well, so I can like look through mirrors and see things. So I have a scrying mirror that I bring on location with me.
Yeah,
But
mirrors are weird.
yeah, tools are definitely my thing. I use my gift as well, but I'm more of a tool person.
Okay. Um. All right. So I read you mentioned that your drag persona was inspired by Elvira,
Yes.
and did you always see that natural bridge sort of between the world of camp horror and actual paranormal investigation? Now, I know you said you decided during COVID to combine the two, to combine the two things, but what was it? What was that aha moment?
I don't even know what the aha moment was. It was boredom for me, really. Elvira had just been someone I was inspired by as a kid. As a kid, I was obsessed with all the Hollywood blondes like Pamela Anderson, Jenny McCarthy, all the women in Hollywood that were getting attention for the wrong reasons, I guess. That kind of was and Elvira to me had this sense of confidence about her. And she could just sit on that couch and host this movie and nobody would not respect her because of how confident and how quick and funny she was. And I inspired to be her a lot in drag, and that's why I started doing drag was Elvira. And I started out hosting, and that's the thing about Elvira that I wanted to do. I wanted to sit on a couch, I wanted to talk about movies or host, and that's how I became the hostess with the mostess. And then when I started ghost hunting, we switched it to the ghostess with the mostess. And but Elvira was the complete and total inspiration for that. And still to this day, like I have never even met her in person. Every time I've gone to meet her, I end up sick or she cancels. Something always happens every time I have a ticket.
Oh my God, we got to figure that out. We got to get
Yeah.
in front of Elvira. That'd be wonderful.
Do you find that you have double the prep work for your investigations? Because
Yeah.
your makeup's on point, right? So that takes skill and time, and then you have to prep for your investigation. So what's that like?
Yeah, so usually I pack everything for the investigation first. I'm OCD, so I got to make sure everything is lined up and in the car. And then I usually get ready at location because I want to see how Spirit reacts to the fact that I'm getting ready in their room too. I have a castle up here that I get ready in, and I get ready in the woman who built the castle's room, and I've actually felt her presence in there while I'm getting ready. And I almost feel like she appreciates the fact that I'm using her mirror and her things. But I spend an hour and a half just getting ready for the investigation, not including unpacking, setting up everything, and preparing for the night. So on top of any other investigator that's throwing on a black shirt and a pair of jeans.
Oh, just yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah. Hold on. The get ready.
Yeah,
The get
All
ready.
sorry,
right.
John.
Yeah, the get ready with me look for the most part is the black t-shirt, cross
Yep.
your arms, and
Yeah. And you're not really giving the spirits anything to react to at that point too, because I will tell you one of the coolest things that happens to me is I wear different colored dresses to every event. Like I had a whole bunch designed just for ghost hunting, and the ghosts will actually comment on the color of my dress. They'll put in requests for colors that I wear next time over radios where guests are listening and they're like, they just told you to wear red. And I'm like, I will, I'll wear it next time. And then I'll wear red the next time. And the spirits will react to the fact that I actually wore that red dress for them.
I love it. Like the all right. So this is what uh, I want to get into this with you because this is what the disruptor that you are, and you refer to yourself as the world's most unique trigger object. So break that down for listeners right now. Why do you consider yourself that?
Well, first, I was the first drag queen, I believe, ever to step into a haunted location and go investigating in drag. Second, it's disrupting because I am the highest form of energy there is. I created this trigger object accidentally just by going ghost hunting in drag. And I didn't realize when I did it that first time just how explosive it changes every investigation. Like when we're there, we still get great stuff when I go investigating as a guy, but when I'm in drag, it's almost like I spill EMF into a location and it just can feed off of that. I'm very disruptive. If you want to change the course of an investigation or a TV show, throw a drag queen in it.
Is it? Do you feel, Monique, that it's because of you? Like when you're in this persona, in your drag queen persona, does it give you that lift of energy? It's not just the look of the outfit, is it? For spirits, it's internal for you,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's internal.
Are you preparing? Am I wrong? Like that's a question.
Yeah. The look is feeding, the look is giving us something to play with and talk about. And it's kind of a costume. If you showed up to an investigation dressed up in costume, they would probably react to the costume too. But it's an internal energy. There's just definitely a huge spike of energy that comes out when you're dressed in drag. It's like putting on a whole new person, and you get to like leave and you just get to be someone else, and it's very freeing. So it's almost like alleviating my brain of anything that I would have taken to that investigation with me. I'm putting on a completely different person that I'm just investigating as.
Do you go by yourself or do you go with other people?
I usually host events now. I've become a little niche market up here, and I'm doing like sold out events all over New England. I host them in drag. They can come scream with this queen and experience the best trigger object
Love
ever
it.
in person.
Well,
And
I gotta say, when you're calling yourself a trigger object, right? And definitely more of a trigger person, right? Even though I get it, right? Obviously, but it's just amazing because I can back this up 100%. I can back it even way more. Think about it like this: you take spirits from the 1800s, right? We're gonna throw it out there, 1800s. How many of them have had desires, lusts, things that were taboo back in the day that they couldn't express? And then here you come, and you're just like awakening all of that, all of those feelings, all those desires, all that lust. It's pretty wild. I've noticed it just dealing with spirits. I've had a lot of spirits hit on me, both male and female, right? And it's wild. So I can only imagine what it's like to be in a room with you while speaking to spirits. They must look at you and go, "Wow, maybe I can be myself."
we actually had a location, Sweet Spring Sanitarium in West Virginia. They don't actually do investigation anymore. But I wasn't even in drag for this one, but we were drawn to the women's corridor or the men's corridor there. And if you knew anything about Sweet Springs, they had a men's corridor, a women's corridor, and then they had like the staff corridor. And there's 300 and something rooms in this building. It's shaped like the letter E, and it's massive. We got lost in there so many times this night. But in the men's corridor, I kept getting told to go to a room. and one specific room in this whole hallway. And so we go to this room, and I'm like, they're not going to leave me alone unless we go in this room. We go to the room, and we're just like looking around, and this place has got like, it almost looks like it was just left behind. Like everyone picked up and just left with what they could grab. Well, inside this room was very large, tall-sized women's clothes, and there was like little knickknacks, and there was like newspaper articles about cross-dressing. And I'm like, oh my God, there was someone here institutionalized for cross-dressing, and they're like making me come to their room right now because they see that in me and they want me to like possibly get that story out of them. So I've been wanting to go back since in drag and see if I can get led to that exact
Oh,
same room and if they'll give me more.
that's wild. That is, 'cause, yeah. I mean, have you ever felt a spirit was confused?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You get that a lot.
Yeah, and gender is something is more talked about nowadays than it was, and like you said, in any time period. Like what I'm doing right now probably would have put me in a mental hospital in the 1950s easily. For real though, and
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah,
unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, and I've investigated mental hospitals in drag, and I mean the energy there can be really wacky when I'm there. It like is so weird.
Have you done a 50-50 yet? Have
What's
you
that?
done like half the night, not in drag, and then be like, all right, everybody, I'll be right back, and then come,
Yeah.
right back in dressed up?
Yeah, so most of my events I change around 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'll continue to investigate with the guests until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning until I really crash. Um,
Okay.
but I have to warn my guests that I'm going to change because this and me as a boy are nothing alike. And I have to like warn people because I've actually scared people and they've tried to like report me to people that work at my events. And they're like, some creepy guy just showed up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is hysterical. I look like Pee Wee Herman as a boy.
Oh my God.
So it's
Paul
like
Rubin?
the
You look like
opposite.
Paul Rubin?
Yeah,
I used
a
to
lot
love
of people will
Paul
be like, you
Rubin
look like Pee Wee
growing up.
Herman. But
Man.
people just they don't get it. So I have to warn everybody at the beginning of every event that I'm going to take this off at some point, and this random guy is just going to show up.
But does
Oh, that's
but the
funny.
whole vibe must change, right? Because I mean, that must the
Yeah.
energy that you talk about
Yeah.
really is not just from you at that point, right? The energy
Right.
is also from your guests and the people with you. There's certainly hanging out with the drag queen, and your big personality and this persona is going to be, I bet the party drops at 1 in the
It
morning. It's like,
does.
listen, I'm taking this wig off. I'm coming back. Everything goes down, right? And it's got to be a whole different vibe. Which then, have you noticed? Right? Has the investigations gotten a little? Do they get a little lame at that point?
Not lame, but they definitely can get quieter. But I find that happens even when I'm not in drag at locations. I feel like we're going to get like a really good hour of stuff, I feel, every night. And then we're going to have about 5 hours of, little things or quiet things. But it doesn't tell us ahead of time when that hour is going to be. So it's usually when I'm in drag, obviously, but it can also be later in the night too, after I change. Typically, after I get out of drag, my energy level is dropping because I'm exhausted. I walk around in heels and platforms and covered in makeup.
Oh, hold on. How is it walking around in heels at some of these locations?
Some of them don't let me wear heels. So
Yeah.
I started wearing platforms because they don't want me
Okay.
to
Okay.
fall or scratch. Some of
Yeah.
them have restored floors too, and they don't want me to scratch the floors
They
with
don't
the
want you
heels.
to-
So I'll wear platforms to those events. But yeah, I want any ghost hunter that's on TV right now to get in drag and go ghost hunting and tell me how uncomfortable and miserable
It's
they
got.
are.
They have to be. I would be. I'm sorry. That's why when you said heels, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Monique, how tall are
You're
you?
not wearing sneakers?
So
Like.
without heels, I'm 5'10". So with heels, I'm a little over 6 foot.
Right, right. It's about it's a vision. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I walk
I
into
love it.
ceilings all the time at locations. I've bumped my head on things, pipes.
Jesus.
I will
So,
do anything for a reaction too.
oh my God. So, look, this community that we're in, right? There's a lot of skeptics, and they like things scientific and sterile, where you like glamour and glitter. And the paranormal community, the field as a whole, can feel rigid. Everyone's real set in their ways. How has your experience been with the community?
I would say like 50-50, 50% positive. There are a lot of what I've noticed is a lot of gay people in the community, but they're kind of closeted, which is kind of, back in the day for me. I'm not used to seeing people really closeted, and it's a very straight male bit industry, the paranormal. You don't really see any of the gay people on TV either. If they are on TV, you're almost very unaware that they're gay at all. They don't talk about it. They've never really presented it that way. I've had people laugh in my face at Paracons, like celebrities, like full-blown paranormal celebrities just laugh at me. I've had them stop me from getting bookings. I've had locations legit just say we will not work with you. We don't want that on our website. We don't want any of the press that we'll get for this. I've been shot down. Like I've literally begged to get into places. There are locations that I want to go to so bad, but they refuse to allow this. And there was I lost a booking in Tennessee one year because they were trying to make drag illegal in Tennessee. So the people were like, "We're afraid you might get arrested if you go out in public here. So we're just going to cancel until this all settles down." And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on with the world?"
Well, Monique, listen. If you're ever in New York and you want to come on a little, a little ghost adventure with me, you are welcome to, drag or not. I don't care. You can look however you want, and I am down. So
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that's the look? I mean,
because they gotta be serious.
Yeah, but what do you think causes? I mean, look. Well, I mean, does it really stem back? Here's my theory. Look, it's like I don't know the Taps guys, but I mean, they're really the first guys, right? They came out on TV, and it was the blue collar guy, right? It was plumbers, who are ghost hunting. So they set the standard for it. Whereas before them, what was it? It was like almost nerds, right? Just like scientists and parapsychologists were straight up nerds with like a pen and book. Then they come out and it's like, we got gear and EMF, but we're plumbers. And that's what spawned a lot of the look and the idea that you need tech and all that stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's really still rooted there with that?
I really do. If you look at any of the paranormal TV, even on all the apps where the content's being created, it's almost like it's got a blueprint and it's almost identical. Even the girls that are in the paranormal, the women, even there's trans people as well. Even a lot of them are doing it the exact same way. They're all wearing black. They're all wearing, they all have their toolkits and their toolbox that they walk in with. And there's no color in the paranormal world. There's no glitter. There's nothing. It's so serious. And like paranormal is serious and it should be taken seriously. We should be respecting the dead and everything on the other side. But there's also an element of fun there.
Yeah, we're humans. We're humans.
Right. Exactly.
I
I was gonna correct you on that. It's like you could take the field seriously, but you could still have fun with it. That doesn't diminish what we're talking about. But like marginalized voices, in this community. I mean, even like African Americans too. It's like there's the Ghost Brothers. Marginalized groups in this genre are few and far between, or like you said, they're keeping quiet about it. And I love the fact that you're so open about it.
And I'm trying to force my way in. I keep telling people, I'm like, you may not want to work with me now, but if something does take off, because there are things in places that tomorrow morning could turn me into a completely different person, and people will be begging me to be at their events and doing stuff with them at this point.
Keep doing you.
Yeah. And if
keep you don't change, keep being you. It was like when I started. I like to joke around with my community, laugh, have fun, and everybody just hated me for it. I just kept doing me, and now look, just keep doing you. Who cares about everybody else? I care about the individual, right? Not the community as a whole. And you're a prime example of that because you are awesome.
Well, John gets a lot of heat. John gets a lot of heat because a lot of people think he's out there being a ghost investigator or a ghost hunter. And that's the one thing and they don't listen to him because he clearly always says, I'm not a ghost hunter. I document. I just talk to him. I do my thing, but I communicate. I'm not here to investigate and any of that. But they never listen to that part. So they always disavow what he's doing or what he says as evidence. They don't buy into it or any of that shit, which is always strange to me. It's like, who cares? Number one.
Right.
And so when you're out there, Monique, with this, you really are sort of a pioneer. You are this pioneer for your community. And so do you feel like a burden, or is it a responsibility now for you to represent the LGBTQ community in the paranormal space? Or is it more of your primary goal to find ghosts? Like, how do you balance that?
So I don't even really know what my primary objective is anymore at this point. I think I've started to get relaxed doing what I'm doing. And I think for the past couple of years I was chasing the Hollywood dream of it all because I was getting a lot of those clicks. For a couple of years, I filmed like 5 or 6 different TV shows that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
And they were all about me and what I'm doing and how I'm changing things. And it seems like nobody wants to pick it up. Nobody wants anything different. And that is really where it's coming from. A lot of people are saying they're too conservative for this kind of entertainment. Like their entertainment should be fun.
Right.
This shouldn't be a
It's
thing
tough,
about
but
being
look, you're talking to
conservative.
somebody. I used to work at Discovery. I worked there for like 10 years, right? The studio side of things. So you're talking about that network and those people and those shows are very Bible Belt, middle America. It is the working man sort of thing, right? So all the ghost shows, it's to figure out how you break through. Like where do I program you in this serious, funny, serious, like how do I sell it? And then is it because the audience for paranormal is very similar to the audience for true crime. It's almost like the same sort of thing, right? The people who like one usually like the other, and they're very avid audience for it. So, but when you try to change the tone for it, it's hard. They don't know what to do. They just don't know what to do. They know that they can't keep their eyes off you. You make them smile and laugh. They just don't know where to put you on the schedule. So it's better to try to figure it out in my opinion, figure it out on your own, which is kind of how this
What
thing
you're
started.
doing.
It's one of those things. When it comes to, so outside of ghost hunting, I mean, is horror like a vibe for you because of Elvira? Like, what's going on behind you here? What's all that stuff? Is it like, is it still part of your universe?
Yeah, horror is pretty much all I watch. I've been obsessed with horror since I was like 7 years old, so I've grown up with it. The rest of my room is covered in ghosts. I'm very obsessed with ghosts. Legos. I love video games. I'm the biggest nerd outside of drag. I'm Barbie in drag, and I am definitely the nerd outside of it.
Oh, I'm the biggest pussy with horror. I cannot. I get terrified. My wife will put on it. She'll put on something scary, and then she sits there with her phone like secretly like this to film me while I'm gripping my dog and yelling at the screen and like everything that happens. I'm like, this is insane. We talk about this. Like what? Like the last horror movie I went to the theater to see was The Grudge, and I was terrified. That movie, I felt like I ran a marathon. Yeah. And then the second scariest thing I've seen in a long time was the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, which was terrifying, and I believe has the greatest jump scare in history within it. What do you think scary? What scares you? Anything or what's the
very much nothing. I don't horror movie wise, stuff that bothers me is more like the guttural, like stuff that feels real, like Midsummer. Like I feel like there's a cult out there somewhere actually doing this.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
yeah, Swedes, right? I never thought I had to be afraid of Swedes before, and now I saw Midsummer, and I'm like, nope, they're no good. They're definitely
in the woods anywhere, and nowhere where there's any kind of festival happening. No, anything cult related. I love horror, but like none of it really scares me. But cult stuff, definitely. I don't know. There's something to me that it's truly terrifying that so many people can follow and believe something so truly.
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
The biggest cult in the world right now. And it literally, it's so weird to me how it's so true to these people. Like watching like the Kool-Aid cult with, Jim Jones and all that back. They believed this stuff. And like, to me, it's like, how do you get to that point in your head where you start to like, it's scary to me.
Yeah. I don't like torture.
Broken human mind,
I don't like torture porn movies. Like, I don't like the Saw movie. I especially don't like them. Like, I'm not even going in. Like Hostel and Saw and anything like that, like Human Set, like anything that stuff is just gross for gratuitously gross. I don't find it scary, Yeah.
I like it all.
What'd you say? Did you see Weapons?
Yeah, I didn't think that was scary.
I didn't think it was scary, but I didn't think, I gotta be honest, I didn't think it was worth the hype. John, did you see Weapons yet?
I didn't see Weapons. Right now, I've been watching Welcome to Derry.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I don't find it scary, but I think it's awesome.
Is
I
it
think
really
they're
bloody.
I think they're doing a great job with the storytelling.
really?
You know, tying it all in and whatnot, and to the whole Stephen King legacy with all his books. And there's a lot of cool stuff. If you read Stephen King and you watch Welcome to Derry, you're like, are they referencing what I think they're referencing? Are they bringing up The Shining? Are they bringing up? Yeah, and you're like,
Dude,
whoa.
I'm a straight white guy. Of course, I loved Stephen King as a teenager. That's what we did in high school at 15. You know, we read Stephen King. It was like our first books.
Yeah, dude. I used to I
Yeah.
used to pull down your books off your bookshelf and read them when I go over to
It was different reading them, and then now as I'm older, I can't watch them. And then once I had kids, forget it, I get scared even more.
Oh,
But Weapons,
man.
I thought Weapons was a little
Comedy.
the marketing was genius because you didn't know what it was, but then you watch it, and I have a lot of friends who are writers, right? And they told me, he's like, he didn't know what the movie was, so it's like he had if you when you, I'm not going to spoil any plot points, but basically what happens is he got to a certain point, and then in the movie they start to retell the same thing from different points of view.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what to do. So the writer doesn't know what to do. So it's like he just retells the thing from different points of view, and then it wraps up, and you're just like, oh, that's what it is. It's just a monster, or whatever it is. It's like this.
And that's what killed me about it. The 3 stories. I'm like, we didn't need a whole hour of extra stories that didn't actually go very further into a different story.
Yeah, and it wasn't scary. I agree. It was just
So,
It turned into
Monique,
a-
if you were to pick a place, like what's your dream place to go and investigate?
Oh, and this hasn't happened yet. Not even once anywhere. I have not been in a prison in drag yet.
Okay.
But my dream is Alcatraz.
Great.
Alcatraz.
Oh, Alcatraz, yeah.
I want to do the escape route in drag. I want to crawl through the wall and like escape the prison in full drag ghost hunting.
Like Nicolas Cage.
Yes, but I want to be the first drag queen in Alcatraz. I want to go into Alcatraz and see what happens to me.
Have you ever just gone just to visit Alcatraz in drag?
Yes, I have definitely been in a prison before. Not Alcatraz, but I went to West Virginia State Pen. But I have never even been over near Alcatraz. I'm planning on going to Winchester next year or the year after.
Okay.
So I will definitely do a tour when I'm there. I don't think Alcatraz would really want a ghost hunting drag queen there if I called them and asked them, but
I don't see why not. It's remember where it is. It's San Francisco.
true.
And listen, anybody with a business mind knows that your money is green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I try anyway.
It's no, it's it is a great. I've been to Alcatraz a bunch of times for tours. I don't ghost investigate, but it's like I'm not going to sit there at night, and that's just not for me. I'd watch you guys do it.
I would do it alone in drag. Just to be in there.
So, outside of ghost hunting, you still host like Ghost and Glitter and Check Out My Equipment, or are those past shows or new shows or?
So I haven't done anything with Check Out My Equipment in a little while. And Ghost and Glitter, I had planned on doing a second season, and this year I got really busy with events. I ended up having a lot of events this year in just a lot less time. So like really outside of drag, I own a hair salon. I also am a realtor. So, I do a lot of stuff. I'm a parent. I do drag shows here and there still, but the ghost hunting stuff is kind of like my passion, my love, the thing I really enjoy doing.
What's the ultimate goal then for you, Monique, for your brand?
I honestly am just having fun and seeing where it goes, and I'm just going to keep being me and building my brand. And if people want it, great, come and get it. And if they don't, then I'm just going to explode glitter on them regardless.
There you go.
And
So Monique, what about the drag community? How does the drag community feel about what you do? Or other people that are,
I've had a couple of drag queens reach out that want to come ghost hunting. I've actually found a gay paranormal investigator that also does drag that I'm going to do an event with next summer, and we're gonna see what happens with 2 drag queens. But most of the ones around here that know me, like they all were like, "Oh, I would love to go ghost hunting," but nobody's ever really come. They really just aren't that fazed by it at all. Drag queens are very heavily focused on like doing shows and drag race and all of that. And my focus isn't on shows anymore. I don't perform on stage unless it's once a year and I take a booking. I more or less want to host. I want to be involved in doing something hands-on. I want to be in creepy ass locations and dress up as Elvira, enticing the spirits to come out and play. And
what outside of the drag that, and the hosting and the pop culture of sort of powerhouse that you are in the space, what do you walk away from personally when you go ghost hunting, when you're dealing with spirits? How does it touch you? You know what I mean? How does it touch you? How does it move you? Like, what do you what do you feel you might be getting closer to understanding?
Well, I usually walk away with a lot of exhaustion. And I'm tired for a couple of days. You get like a really good hangover. But I think at the end of the day, what makes me love doing paranormal is you kind of get there and you're kind of have this expectation for what's going to happen that night. And I feel like it never is what you expect, and it's always a surprise. And it's almost like hearing stories from a time that I never was. And I hate history, so I'm not going to pick up a history book, but it's different when it's being told by the people themselves. And I get to share their stories. And I own a hair salon, so I talk about this all day with my clients. And it's so cool that I can go talk to the spirit of Elliot on Saturday. And then Wednesday, I can share Elliot's story with a client. Or for me, it's about sharing that experience. It's about making people fall in love with the paranormal, and also changing that view of what drag is, getting rid of like drag queens are scary. They're trying to take our children, like they're not freaking scary. I have a child. I'm not grooming my child. He does not want to do drag. Like we are not scary.
Great. That was funny. That was great.
Acceptance. I want to walk away with acceptance. And I want to walk away with that.
Nothing for your children.
Have you ever gone deeper? Like, have you ever gone deeper when you've heard something or felt something and looked it up, like gone and tried to like what? Can you?
Yeah. So I have, so I'm on my fourth book right now. So the first one's already out. So first book out, second book coming January 1st. But
wait, was this The Haunting of Emery Estates? Is that your first?
So that was my first book. And then the second one is Haunting of Hunt Memorial. This one's coming soon. This was where we had our book party. But we ended up, the second book took place over 3 separate investigations. So we got stuff, we went and researched, we went back, got more stuff, went and researched, and then we went back, and then we were led to a cemetery in this book. And in the cemetery, we got more story from this building that is probably like 4 or 5 blocks away from the cemetery. It was kind of crazy. And like Emory, I don't think I've been there twice. I only went there that one night, but it was just so good. It turned into a book. The Castle is going to have a book soon. Wilson Castle. We're working on that one. I have a very deep connection to this castle. It's the first place that let me in drag. And I fell in love with the spirits there. They look forward to me. I bring gifts for them. The grandfather of the spirit of the castle, the great grandfather of the owner of the castle, the current living owner, is he hits on me when I'm there. And I was like, nervous to tell the owner of the castle, because I'm like, what do? You tell them that your great grandfather's ghost is hitting on a drag queen, and what are they going to say about that? How are they going to react? Her reaction was, oh yeah, he was that dirty old man at the party that would hit on anything with legs. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. Yeah. For me, it's just this experience that's completely different and abnormal, and I love the documenting of it.
I think you're underselling yourself, Monique. I mean, honestly, when we're sitting here talking about, like, it's pow and glitter and glam, but to have 2 books, a third coming out where you're going back and forth and digging in, that's legitimate investigation. That's that's what a lot of these people are that think they're doing it aren't doing, and they might be giving you shit for not doing it or looking down at you because of how you look for it. Possibly, I don't know, but that's real investigation. That's not something to just blow under the rug, right? I mean, it feels like you love that.
Yeah, and I'm not just getting weird comical reactions from the spirit world either. Obviously that happens. That happens with regular groups, but some people also think that's going to be the case. They're going to come ghost hunting with me, and it's going to be all heels and lashes and this and that, but it's not. There's really serious things. These books, I was in drag for both of these investigations, and there's really nothing related to drag in these books. It's not about the fact that I'm in drag. It's just the energy that was created those nights and how effective that energy fed both of these locations. The first book of Emery, we had a spirit communicating with a hot or cold device for almost a whole hour. That is a long time for a spirit to stay active.
Yeah.
And we turned the thing on and off. We were doing things to make sure this equipment wasn't working. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a TV show where something is working that long.
Do you do spirit boxes or apps or any of that stuff in here?
Some of them. I don't. So I take everything with a grain of salt, regardless of what it is. Mediumship and equipment. You nothing is ever 100%. Like I said, this is a parascience, but it's not a strict science either, that nothing is a fact. Everything we get is opinion based from what we're getting with our tools and our equipment. Like my books, I'm not publishing these as like, this is what happened at Wilson Castle. This is a story of something I got when I was at Wilson Castle. And this is
Right.
a story that I'm sharing and I was asked to share with the world. So, but does that mean it's a fact that happened years and years ago? No, we really never will know, right? Unless we find that evidence in history.
And once again, you are you, you are more of a paranormal investigator than you let on, because the one thing with look, I'm trying to learn about this world, right? And I'm meeting,
Yeah.
I want to get different perspectives from everybody. And I've met a lot of parapsychologists and things like that. One of my favorites is this guy, Steve Parsons, John, the UK guy. He wrote this book called Ghostology, where it's just, people, for some reason, every dick who grabs an EMF meter or K2 thing thinks they're a scientist because they've got it. And it's like, well, this is what it is, right? I'm a scientist. And therefore it's like, no, man, you don't even know what it does. You just think, and that's not what science
Lights up and makes noise.
right. And it's like, that's not what science is. And even just what you just said shows that you think more critically and scientifically than half of them out there. Do you go to these para conferences and things like that?
I've been invited to a few and I tend to do them. They're very exhausting for me because, like I said, I'm in costume all day, 2 days in a row normally. Sometimes I'm at a VIP party. Being in drag that much is very hard. I have signed on to do two next year, and it was just because I was invited. I typically don't reach out to them anymore. But I was invited to do one in Atlantic City. And I'm going to be investigating the Absecon Lighthouse as the VIP party.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool. And then I'm going to be doing the main Paracon this year.
And how have those things been for you when you go?
So I've had positive and negative Paracon experiences, mostly positive. I've been yelled at by the owner of one of the Paracons in front of guests. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
for what?
Oh, just being there.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, just being me, and got yelled at in front of a whole group of people. I've definitely had a lot of support from people. I've had people come up to me and be like, I've been following you, that are celebrities. And I'm like, why are you following me? Like, and they're like, I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Don't let anyone dull you. But you do, like I said, you get some that are great. And then you can tell the ones that are just laughing in your face as they're talking to you.
Oh, listen, we get, John and I are both, these partial Italian straight white guys who went to Catholic school who now are atheists. We get so much religious hate and for being that way, like sort of shunning how we grew up in so many ways. I can't even imagine what you have to go through with that, with those crazies. Because look, there's a lot of crazies in this in the paranormal space, especially the keyboard warriors online. Do you go? Are you active on social media still? Like, do you post a lot? Do you do your?
Yeah, I do. And I try to post a lot of videos when I do go investigating and stuff from the events. I'm not super active. One thing I've learned a lot about social media is people, like you said, they're keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors.
Yes.
Can't listen to a thing they say.
Yeah, something that I've always admired that RuPaul has always said on RuPaul's Drag Race is other people's opinions are none of my business about me. So, and that's kind of like, you just got to stay out of it because there is so much negativity. And I have people that will follow me and say all these amazing things to me on Facebook about how much they love what I'm doing or this. So they'll meet me at events. They'll be like, you're really just such a great person. And then they'll go on Facebook and post like an anti-drag political thing about how they think drag should be illegal. I'll be like, what did you don't even know what you're talking about. You just told me you love me to my face and now you're trashing my whole community on Facebook.
So crazy.
What do you, Monique? What do you want? Like 10 years from now, when they look at Monique Toosoon, what do you want your sort of legacy in this space to be?
I want
because you are unique.
Thank you. I really just want locations to take me seriously, to want to work with me. I want people to see the glitter in this. I want people to see that it doesn't just have to be black and white. There can be color. There can be different people. There can be different kinds of paranormal investigation. It's not always going to be this little cookie cutter thing that's been created by, television over the past 20 years. It's got to change. It's due for something fun, something fresh. And I have fun with paranormal, and I think everybody should have fun. I think everybody should be laughing at every event. I don't think it should be so serious and so cut and dry. And like I said, I think the paranormal world in 10 years, I would just like to see color.
I feel like we're all part of the island of misfit toys from Rudolph
Yes.
the Red-Nosed Reindeer in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I put myself in that category too, where it's like, the elf that wants to be a dentist, and you remember what was the guy's name who, God damn,
What's his name? Not Yukon Cornelius.
yes,
That's
Yukon
the
Cornelius.
minor.
Yeah,
Yukon's the minor.
Yeah.
I can't remember the.
Sorry, it's in my head because we're so close to Christmas. And you remember what a
Yeah.
dick Santa is in that? He's such a dick.
They're all a-holes.
Yeah, but hold on a second.
Rudolph's
People
father.
forget.
Good.
Dude, oh my God. But really, do you remember this, Monique? I mean, do you remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed? Santa is such a dick to, like, when, he has Rudolph and he's like, you're going to bring that shit. You better cover that boy up. It's like, he's oh. If you don't remember what I'm saying, please go watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you're going to see, like,
oh, it's that whole movie is euphemisms for so many different things.
So crazy. And yeah, they are so mean and so nasty, especially Santa. And then it's like, oh, well, it's so stormy out. And then it's like, oh, now you need the kid with the red nose, you prick.
Yeah, right.
It's unbelievable how bad it is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So funny how some television just didn't age well.
No, I know. I know. It's crazy. But the point being, like, they're the ones who saved it, right? Like, all the misfits save it, because it does get so exhausting to hear the critics and the critique. And it's like, why do it this way? Why is it any less legitimate? Why is this belief system any less legitimate? Why is what I'm doing? And scientifically, everything what you're saying sounds like you're doing it even better than most.
But science doesn't care. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Science doesn't care, right? Like, and that's why what she's doing is awesome, because it doesn't matter if she dresses up in drag, if she dresses up like a big fiery red dragon and goes to these locations. The science of it doesn't care. Doesn't care what color we are, what we sound like, what we look like. It's the people. It's the people in the community that care. And sometimes they can be quite horrible in their, responses and to the stimuli, if you will, Do
you think everybody, Monique, has some sort of ability in paranormal? What's your experience been with around other people, or some of the people you take on tour, or have you?
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
I think everyone fits in somewhere. And I've spent probably 15 years building a team of people that I personally think we work good together too. Because I feel like some people battery other people in this world.
Ooh, who's on your team? What's your team made up? How do you do that?
Yeah. So I always have my husband with me. And then I have my friend Lexi, who is a medium. She'll be with me at the Abscon Lighthouse.
Well, wait, don't jump ahead. What's your husband do? Why is he a good part of the team? I mean, outside of being a life partner, I'm talking about what makes him a good paranormal investigative partner.
Not really much, to be honest. He's he's good at bringing things up the stairs for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, he carries your bags, doesn't he?
Heavy lifting.
He's the heavy lifter. Hey,
yeah, he's the heavy lifter. He's going to kill me. He's probably listening, and he's going to murder me. And then I have a medium named Lexi that I bring everywhere. And the thing with me and Lexi is we did a show of Dark Echoes together, and we finished each other's minds. So, like, we'll be thinking the same thing, and then we'll just start talking about it. And then people will be like, what are you talking about? We'll be filling in answers to something. And we were filmed blindfolded at a place, and we were pulling out a whole story blindfolded. Ooh. Like, it was crazy. And then I battery up with another medium like that. And then the co-author of my books.
I'm sorry, what did you just call that? You battery what?
Battery up with another medium. It's
that.
Almost like our charges connect the correct way, and we make even more action happen. It's like you feed images to each other. And it's only happened with two people before. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's only happened with two people and me. And one of them's a dark witch medium from Florida, and the other one's my friend Lexi, who lives in Vermont. And I don't know why it does it. It's just really weird. If I sit back to back with Lexi at the castle a couple of months ago, we were unfolding someone buried in the back of the castle. And I would say one thing and she would be like, oh yeah, and the leaves are on her face. She threw up, she got hit in the head with, and then I'll start feeding something else. It's so weird, but it doesn't happen every time. It happens so randomly. And then other than that, on my team, like I said, that my friend Nora, who's from Florida, it's just our
What's a
perfect.
dark witch? You said she's a dark witch?
Yeah, so my
What's
friend
that
Nora
mean?
from Florida, she's just a darker medium. I think she's just someone, you always hear people that are like, I'm a light witch, I'm a dark witch. She's just someone that is curious about things that other people are afraid of. So she'll tend to walk closer to those lines versus, like someone else will step away from things they're afraid of.
Mm.
I am one of those investigators that's not a big demon person. I'm not necessarily a believer in things that are more biblical created things. I am more of it's a ghost, it's a person, or it was not a person, but I don't really believe necessarily in that
Right.
stuff.
You mentioned that before, that you think that there are spirits that are non-human. What do you think it is?
I believe that's land, elemental. That's really what I'm talking about with that.
Okay.
Elemental. Yeah, so things that are connected to the land, and you find a lot of those in like where there was heavy Native American history, like the Conjuring House is one of those, and that's a place I hosted New Year's Eve for a couple of years, and that has a very weird elemental energy to it. There are psychics that have gone there and said it's made offers to them, when you enter the Conjuring House, it's almost like you drive into like a jelly mold, and when you're in there, everything just shakes and you're stuck in this jelly mold of energy, and it's so heavy, but it's not one specific thing. It's like the land is feeding that whole house. Like I don't think the story of The Conjuring, everything's Hollywood. The real story behind it is just this eclectic amount of energy, and then they threw in all these kids and a family, and they just fed the energy more and more and more, and it grows when you're feeding it, right?
Yeah, we had Andrea on the show, and
Yeah.
we did an interview with her, and she's such a pleasant human being,
Mm.
such an awesome soul, and yeah,
One of my
basically
best
telling us the
friends.
same thing,
And John,
it's
but this jelly mold
I
vibe.
know. I
That,
know. And so everybody listening to is going to be like, wait a minute, John, you talk about the jelly.
yeah, I see.
The
I
jelly
think.
mold.
Well, see, I think like my thing is when I download the apps that John uses on his live feed to get the feedback he gets, I don't get the reaction he gets. I just don't
Mm.
get it. Um, I think that's me. I think these are all tools that play off the user, and
Mhm.
John gets good reaction because I think he might be a witch or whatever he is that's got whatever he's got going
Yeah.
on.
It's
But he
that witchy
said
sauce. That's it.
when he feels it, he is constantly describes it as exactly what you just said. Like he is inside a jello mold that's shaking, like
Yeah.
that's how he knows something atmospheric. I want to jump back though to when you're talking about elemental, you know, but are they why they're asking for things like what? I guess I'm
So
trying to
I
get my head around what that means or how you see it or feel it rather.
Yeah, so that's not something I have a lot of experience with. I have experience with elementals, but I'm not someone that's ever been given an offer or any of this, but I heard this story from a medium and it kind of always resounded with me because I was a big fan of the show Supernatural. And do you remember in the show Supernatural where they would have the Crossroads demon, and the Crossroads demon would give you that option, like I'll give you this if you do this for me or something. And there was a really well-known medium, I won't say the person's name, but I believe this person is really sensitive, and they had made a post about after going to the Conjuring House about how they had this, they had felt like they were given an offer and from this land spirit. And I mean, do I 100% know that's true? No, but I want to believe in my head that that could have actually been a real thing because if you think about elemental, it's a heavy big energy. It's not a little spirit energy. It's not a human. It's land, it's earth, it's fire, it's water, it's
That's why.
Existence.
John,
existence,
have you ever heard
older
about
than
this?
us.
Have you ever
But
Elemental? So, of course.
have you ever feel like you've come across something that could be elemental as opposed to interdimensional or like things that you believe in?
I can't say that I have on that aspect. However, I have come across places where the land seems to have its own heartbeat, if you will.
you're in
If
New
that
York,
makes
right?
sense. Yeah, I'm in New York. I'm right near New York City.
Hinsdale
So,
House.
yeah. So I,
I'm sorry. What did you say? That it's,
The Hinsdale House in New York, that is one
yep.
of those properties that has a pulse.
Yeah. I've heard. I haven't been there, but I've heard of that place.
I have to
Buckout
chase out
Road,
of the
for
woods.
example, is one of those places. that has its own heartbeat, if you will.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, no. As far as elementals are an interesting topic. You know, so many people believe in different things, but one thing that is always described with elementals is this separation of human spirit to actual like power and energy, and how different and almost monumental it feels compared to, say, something minuscule like a regular spirit. So
Yeah.
Are there anybody who are some of your mentors, Monique, in this space? You read anybody? Who taught you? And
Nobody. TV taught me. I kind of taught myself, and I started learning the equipment. And I've been kind of taken under the wing of some people like Sam Baltrusis, who's a medium
he's been a
that you see
guest
on TV.
Yep. We've had
Yeah.
Sam on. Sam's a great guy.
Yes, we've done a lot of events together. Heidi's been great with me. I'm very close with Andrea Perrin as well. I talk to Andrea on the phone almost every day by text message. But two of the people that have really been really good to me are the Groffs, Nick and Tessa. I'm really close with Tessa Groff. Nick Groff is one of the original Ghost Adventures guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they've really just been some of the kindest people in this whole world to me. And the kindness goes so far with me because I put on this facade. I walk into a place with my head held high, but things do get under my skin here and there. And, you got to kind of like almost like not show that, because if they know they're getting under your skin, you kind of got to like, you can't let them know it, because then it's going to get worse. So
all you got to do is next time, just tell them how disappointed you are. That's it.
Yeah.
Next time something starts to get under your skin, just be like, you know what? I'm so disappointed in you. You're really showing just how like bad humanity could be. How disappointing is that? That really gets to people. Like when I deal with trolls, you kill them with kindness. You tell them how disappointed you are. They lose it. So that's something that, a little technique I've done, because I'm always dealing with people trying to get under my skin. And I can only imagine for you, just being yourself and being this. Oh, what's the best way for me to put it? You walk into a room, you're like a bright light, multicolored bright light,
especially in this black t-shirt world we're living in.
Yes.
I mean, it's so fun. I love it. I love it, but I'm a bit of an anarchist, I think. I do enjoy
me too. Yeah.
I just
that
do
rebel
enjoy
attitude.
and especially with an anarchist and a disruptor with credibility.
Yeah.
Just makes it that much more awesome to me.
Yep. Agreed.
I think you're so great.
Yeah.
Monique, what can we promote for you? Where do you want the people to find you? I mean, outside of your books, we will put links to those books in our link tree for sure. Do you have like what's the go-to website where people can find out about your events?
MoniqueToosoon.com has everything from Paracons to events, and any tickets will be available through there as well. My books are available on Amazon, and honestly, Monique Toosoon on all social media. You can find me anywhere. Just type my name in.
I can't thank you enough for taking the time with us. We really
thank you. It's great.
Thank you.
I think you have a unique voice. I think you are skilled, and it really is interesting to hear your perspective on not just what spirits are, but the paranormal world in general. I find it refreshing and I just find it interesting. I think it's really cool. Man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's one of my favorite ones I've done. This is a great podcast.
Oh,
I appreciate that.
We're trying to figure it out as we go a little bit, but we're doing all right. We had a really good Spotify wrap up. Gave us a really big ego boost.
It really did
for us. Like the top 5% of all videos watched on Spotify. Not to brag, but
that's amazing.
90. We were on the all news shows. People watched us more than 95% of all other new podcasts launched in 2025.
I love it.
We are, we're gonna wear that. We're gonna brag about that for all through 2026.
Spray that glitter everywhere.
We are. We're gonna revamp it all. But it's people seem to like how we're doing it. We're trying to do more, and I think the key is I want voices like yours.
We want amazing guests like yours, like you, 100%.
Unique 100%. Perspectives. Everyone thinks they knows what ghosts are, but no one knows what the hell a ghost is. I mean, it's like if we knew what a ghost was, the world would change as we know it. It'd be bigger than AI. So it's like it's fun to figure it out. and hear people's personal experiences with it, you know, and I really value your time and your unique perspective on this, Monique.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys so much for having me.
Thank you. Of course.
Definitely.
Well, that's it for another episode of Splintered Spirits. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay curious.